Hi and welcome to this quick tutorial on the Korg NTS1. I've picked this up a few days ago and I've been playing around with it. Most of the functions on it are fairly intuitive. You've got an oscillator, filter, an envelope generator section, and then 3 different modulation sections. And the way we edit is by punching a different section and tweaking these knobs. Basically that's the filter cutoff, type, resonance, and we can do that for each of these. But there's one area that's mentioned in the manual that isn't really explained properly, and that's this. It's the waves oscillator. That's the last oscillator we can select by default. The rest of the oscillators are controlled quite easily. We select a type using the type knob, and then knob A changes the shape, which introduces more harmonics, and then knob B introduces the sub-oscillator, just to thicken up our sound. So it's the same for triangle, square, and then the VPN wave is more of a FM based oscillator. So A is the mod amount, with B being our ratio. But when we get to waves, you might be forgiven for thinking this is a bit boring, because knob A just does that and knob B apparently does nothing. This is because we need to go into the oscillator's functions in order to edit it. Those aren't detailed in the manual, they're just mentioned very briefly. It sends you to a web page, which I can't for the life of me find any information about this. So I've just dug around and tried to work it out for myself. So the way we edit it is hold the oscillator button and turn type, and that puts us into edit mode. And then as we turn type, we flick between different parameters that we can then change with knob B. Knob A is going to mix between 2 main waveforms. So the idea with this oscillator is you've got 2 main waveforms that you can mix together. You've got a sub-oscillator that you can mix in, and then we've got ring modulation and bit crusher that we can add on afterwards. So knob A is just going to mix between waveforms A and B. So on the first setting, far left, we've got the selections for waveform A. So if we turn this all the way to the left, we'll just hit waveform A. And we've got lots of different waveforms to choose from. So I'm going to pick number 31 because it's fairly bright, and then we go over to waveform B, and turn knob B. We're not going to hear anything at the moment because we need to turn this. So that's our waveform B. Again, there's 44 different ones to choose from. So let's pick 7, and then this knob will fade between them. So the next notch over on our edit menu is our sub-wave. Now at the moment, this won't do anything. Or at least, it's incredibly subtle. So once more is our sub-mix. That's going to mix in a sub-oscillator, so let's put it about a third of the way up, and we can pick our waveform by going back 1 notch. So now we're in sub-wave, and we've got 16 different waveforms to choose from. So we pick number 8, and then the next notch over is our ring modulation mix. Now this ring modulation is normally associated with sort of quite clangorous sort of metallic sounds, but I think what's happening here is it's ring modulating those 3 waveforms together. Because they're all in tune, we're not getting a lot of harmonics being added. It's quite a subtle thing. But it's still quite useful. So the last notch over on our edit menu is bit crusher, and I do love a bit of bit crusher. All the way over to absolutely destroy. Let's keep it quite subtle, somewhere in the middle. So now if we to go, for example, let's bring up an AHR envelope, soften our attacks, add a bit of reverb, or lots of reverb. can make for some really interesting sort of complex pad type sounds, although it's a monophonic synth, so it's not really a pad. But yeah, you can do some really interesting things with the Waves oscillator. It's worth mentioning that the Waves oscillator is a custom oscillator. That is one that we can load into the NTS1 and remove if need be. And the edit functionality for all custom oscillators works in the same way as we edit the Waves oscillator. So as you upload other bits of code to the NTS1, you can edit it in the same way. Now, it'll be something I'll be covering in a future videos, how to get that up and running. So I hope that was helpful. Please let me know what you thought in the comments below, and please like and subscribe to this channel. Thanks very much for watching.